I appreciate prayer, but for a lot of people, prayer means asking God for something. Some people, it might mean just becoming quiet within and being open to the infinite. I would say that I lean more towards that kind of prayer. I don't feel like I need to tell a separate God anything about me, because I feel like that life is within me and certainly knows everything it needs to know. From my background, which was not growing up in a Christian household, I felt like I was free to approach it without any preconceptions. And I remember in college spending hours reading the Bible, and especially Jesus' words, and feeling like, now I believe I understand where he was coming from. And to this day, I feel that reading Jesus' words to people that he was speaking to is very similar to reading a speech that Einstein would have made to a first grade class. You have a genius in physics teaching people who are so far beneath his knowledge. Same with Einstein. If he was teaching a first grade class, he would essentially simplify truths to such a bare basic level that the first graders could nod their head and say, I understand. And so that's what I feel what we're doing when we read Jesus' words. The literal words are not nearly so important as what happens within us as we take these teachings and awaken to them at an experiential level. And so to me, that's just as much being a Christian as it is to hold on to just the way it was translated and written down 2,000 years ago, what he said to a small group of people or a large crowd. I really think what he was asking us all to do was grow beyond the words, grow beyond the religion. Any sense of control that I think I have is really, it's an illusion, or it's illusory. I'm given a certain degree of a quasi-control over my life, but everything about me has been given to me. My heart is beating, not by my own control, but I'm pretty sure my mistakes are my own. So everything where it all unfolds beautifully, I think to myself, I'm not controlling this. Mainly, I need to get myself out of the way. You know, like when I was in high school, I wanted to be famous, and in college I thought about touring as a musician. And so if it had been left up to me, I would have unfolded it a certain way much quicker. But finally, when my efforts didn't unfold that way, I gave up, and I'm very happy with how it's happened. And so I feel like now it's a matter of me just listening within, and sort of to the best of my ability to follow what I call inner guidance. And it is a very gentle thing. And sometimes the inner guidance will say, it's time to move. And I'll go, oh, wow, that's kind of dramatic, but I guess it's time to make that phone call, and whatever it is that you need to do. There are these moments where Spirit, it feels like, is asking me to step off the cliff. My dreams tend to be reasonably pleasant, but if I am going deeper in my meditations, then I have what I might call superconscious dreams, where I am aware that I'm sleeping and that I'm dreaming, and I can control the dream. Like I had a dream the other night where I was just opening my heart to somebody, and the power of the feelings within me were so powerful that it's not something that just happens in everyday life. The feeling was as if my heart was being pressed like this. It was just so strong, and I was weeping with a mixture of joy and sadness, not a negative sadness, but compassion. It was joy and compassion, but it was so powerful. It was like my chest was being compressed with 200 pounds of pressure. So that's the kind of thing that'll happen sometimes in dreams if I am doing a good job of using my meditation practice to go deeper into my I have a spiritual teacher, a woman, who told me years ago that when she sleeps at night, there is no unconsciousness. She never is unconscious. She's always aware. And she said, God is never asleep, so why should we be? Her body goes to sleep, but her consciousness never dims. So in that sense, I think as long as we are going into subconscious in dreams, we're going to be fluctuating because we're going to come out of that and we're going to go back into subconsciousness and we're going to rise into consciousness. So I think that's where the term superconsciousness is a reasonable one to say there is a level of consciousness that we can reach where we are no longer bouncing in these fluctuating ways. Matter of fact, I was originally focused on super fascinating things, like reincarnation or would a certain historical figure reincarnate as the Antichrist, and those kind of endless paths of investigation. And then I met a young man, 18 years old. He was 18, I was 24, I was 22 or so when I had graduated from college, and he was just starting college at the University of Oregon. And he listened to my theories and he said, okay, but if you found out that somebody was going to reincarnate, or you saw your aura, or you went out of body, how would that change your life? And I said, I guess it wouldn't, but it would be fascinating. He said, so why don't you try something or reach for something higher? And I said, like what? And he said, like awakening to what you are, who you are as a spiritual being. And nobody had ever said that to me before. And then he handed me a book, Autobiography of a Yogi. And that's how I began my deeper studies.